Then an investigation from DLSE came, which resulted to my employer's retaliation and eventually having me fired. I felt most trapped. I was in the US without work authorization, but I could not go back to my homeland because of blackmailing threats. Fortunately, through the hard work of the group of Advancing Justice and Latham and Watkins, and the help of Congressman Ted Lieu, we were able to acquire T visas. Now that we have a proper visa, our concerns are starting to unload. Now we can work legally here, continue our lost dream of secured future, and free from the reach of our traffickers. Finally, I would like to take this opportunity to show my gratitude to those who helped us along the way, especially to Congressman Ted Lieu, Advancing Justice, and Latham and Watkins. Congressman Ted Lieu helped us, listen to us. I can't imagine like sitting, like talking or sitting like in front of a congressman, and he listened to us. He entertained us, our humble plea. He understand our cause and walked with us until the end, till we have our TV set. To our lawyers, thank you for guiding and helping us along the way, Yanin, John, Labani, and Mr. Stewart. This would have not been possible for your hard work. To my family here, to ILA, International Los Angeles, Institute of Los Angeles, FMC, being our friends, Migrante, our friends too, who has been with us also. And also my family who prayed for me in the Philippines, and my family, my friends in the Philippines, who prayed and stayed with us. Thank you for your unending love and support. This will be a start of a new chapter for us, for all of us. And to everyone, like the media and all, who help us, and for their time, support, and understanding, well, one thing is for sure, justice is indeed for everyone. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, Asian American Advancing Justice LA, Latham and Watkins, to all our lawyers who work hard for our case, even late nights, weekends, and holidays. Thank you for fighting for our rights. They never stop until justice is served. And even up to now, they are not stopping for us. Stewart ko, sir, thank you. Filipino community groups, Migrante, FMC, Gabriela, for giving us the support. Thank you so much. Tami Marashlian of IILA, thank you, ma'am. And of course, Congressman Ted Lieu for listening, touching our hearts, and believing us. And with his kind heart, he helped all of us to get visas so we can continue work here in the US and to reunite with our family. Congressman Ted Lieu, sir, thank you. My name is Romar Cunanan, one of the Filipino bakery workers. People call us trafficking victims, but now you can also call us survivors. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Armelinda de la Serna. They call me Army, one of the 11 bakery workers that were victims of trafficking. On behalf of the 11 of us, we want to say thank you to Asian Advancing Justice. Sir, thank you. Yanin, John, Chris, and the rest of the team. Latham and Watkins, ILO to Ms. Tami Marasigan, the Philippine Migrants Group Center, the Filipino community groups, but most importantly to Congressman Ted Lieu. Thank you, sir. for taking the time of his very busy schedule to listen to us, to listen our story, for sympathizing with our situation, and for helping us to expedite our T visa for all of us. Thank you. And for that, our families, some of the families of the bakery workers are here who join us today. The joy we felt after these years of stressful situation is indescribable. We can't imagine we'd all be right now if it wasn't your efforts. Our lives have been changed forever. So thank you, and thank you guys.
Well, you've heard his name about 50 times already this morning, but again, we want to thank the workers, and we also want to thank our staff, but especially today, we want to thank Congressman Ted Lieu for his wonderful effort on behalf of the workers and for justice for all.
Hello, I'm Congressman Ted Lieu, and today we celebrate the American system of justice. The promise of America is that if you come here and you work hard and you do the right thing, we will give you every opportunity to succeed. And I want to thank Asian Americans Advancing Justice, the law firm of Latham and Watkins, the incredible staff attorneys here, and the Filipino workers for your courage and for fighting to do what is right. When I first heard the story of what was happening, I listened to the stories of these workers. It struck a chord in me. I am one of 6 immigrants in Congress, and to me, the greatness of America is that we are a diverse nation, and we make sure that when people are here and they're working hard, that we do not exploit them, we do not abuse them. And unfortunately, in this case, we had owners of a bakery that were abusing their workers. They gave them very long periods of work without rest or meal breaks. They had some of them sleep on the floor. They engaged in wage theft. They engaged in debt bondage. This was really one of those situations that just called out for justice. And the workers in this case were threatened that if they spoke up, if they were to tell anybody about what was happening, they could be fired or they could be deported. And what the workers did in this case showed great courage. They took that risk. They took the risk of being fired. They took the risk of being deported. They said, we're going to do the right thing. We're going to report these abuses. We're not going to lie to the Labor Commission when they investigated. And what our office did is, first, we wanted to make sure that these workers, in fact, were not deported. We worked with federal agencies to make sure that they could stay here to prosecute their cases against their very abusive owners. We're very pleased that the federal agencies allowed these cases to go forward. They allowed the workers to stay here in order to prosecute their cases. And then very pleased that they all got T visas, which allows them to stay in the United States. And this is really an example of federal agencies working together to make sure the right thing was done. And if there really is a moral to this story, it is if you know something's happening to you and you are a immigrant or a guest worker, if you're someone who feels that your rights are being taken away, please come and report your stories to Asian Americans Advancing Justice or other civil rights organizations, and we'll try to help you, or come contact my office, and we will try to help you. At the end of the day, this is a great success. We now have 11 amazing workers and their families who are going to make America even better. Thanks so much for being here.
We're open for questions.
We're just here from 2 years.
Oh, 2 more speakers. Okay.
So you've heard about the legal support that the Filipino guest workers received. You've heard about the great support that Congressman Ted Lieu provided. But I also wanted to acknowledge that there are also community-based organizations, other community-based organizations that stepped in and helped stabilize our client's situation while they were waiting for the grant of T visas. I'm pleased to introduce to you from the Filipino Migrant Center, Yasmin Satcharay.
Thank you. My name is Yasmin Saturay from the Filipino Migrant Center. First of all, we want to congratulate the 11 bakery workers and their families for the recent victory of finally getting your T visa and being reunited. And we recognize the hard work of Asian Americans advancing justice for all the hard work that you have done for this. It is amazing to see the resilience and the bravery, the courage of the workers to keep fighting and standing up for their rights until we get to this day of this victory, and now we see the families reunited finally. We know that there's still a lot of work to do. There's still a lot of trafficking victims out there, and we'll always be here to continue the work to be able to stop. And the bakery workers set a very important example in the community here to show that this battle can be won. We also want to assure the workers that lagi kami nandito. We are always here for you, especially now that your families are here. We're here to help you adjust and to build a community of Filipinos here with you. So thank you everyone, and congratulations again.
So before we move to Q&A, I also want to acknowledge that we were able to obtain the T visas with the assistance of individual attorneys who are working under the auspices of the SCAD and ARPS pro bono program, including Nicole Kim, Angela Makavali, and Maximilian Kirsch. I want to say that it's really important to understand that the granting of the T visas in this case represents recognition of a lesser understood and perhaps more prevalent form of trafficking, where the traffickers employ subtle and yet equally menacing forms of coercion to obtain captive labor. And I want to thank you for being here, but as you've heard from other speakers, we need to push for more protections for guest workers. Just because you're a guest worker or you're undocumented does not mean you are not entitled to the protections that other workers have in this country. A 2014 study by the Urban Institute found that in 14% of trafficking cases, those victims were misidentified by law enforcement and placed in jail or removal proceedings. So we need to make it easier for agencies to detect victims of trafficking, and hope that people watching this will think maybe this is the situation that they're in themselves and reach out to our agencies for assistance. Thank you so much.
Maybe you could stay up here with the congressman, and then if workers are asked questions. By the way, the T visa, the trafficking visa, the history of that is 20 years ago. We were the lead attorneys in a case in Omonte where almost 80 workers from Thailand were locked up and enslaved. And there wasn't an existing T visa, but our argument to the federal government was that if there isn't a temporary legal relief for workers to stay and to see through the process of prosecution and testimony against criminal traffickers, then people will not testify because they'll be deported or they'll be too afraid. And so out of that case, and the workers in that case standing up, and with our advocacy and other groups' advocacy, the T visas were created. And so we're sad that unfortunate exploitation is still occurring, but we are glad that now there are better structures and legal protections. But fundamentally, workers still have to stand up for their rights. So again, thank you to the workers for your bravery, and now you have some relief, and now the process will continue. But let's just open it up for any questions from the media or any friends who came today.
Can we hear from the workers and let us know what a typical day for them would be?
You want to just
Gene, maybe,
talk
or
about
all of them?
a typical day where you were
The hours and things, attitude, things like that?
You were asking about the time that we are working with the bakery,
the conditions.
the conditions.
Yes, what
Like
was
a
a typical
typical
day
day.
like for you And how did they treat you? And what was their attitude towards treating you a certain way? Asking you to do the things they asked you. What would they ask you to do?
Well, I do most of everything before. So especially during the time that the bakery, we're opening the bakery. So like we wake up like 4 a.m. We go to the store. I help the baker. We are the only bakers there, so I help the baker. I am doing all the rounds there. We opened the store and then started serving. Like we opened it at 6 a.m., 7 a.m., and then we started serving. Then we go for a lunch break at 2:30, and then that's interrupted breaks too. And then after that, we have to go back and work. And during those times, we go home like 8 p.m. So it's a long day for us. And so when we go home, we feel like so tired, and then go back to work again the next day.
And how much would you get paid for that day, do you think?
When the bakery opened, they started paying me like 1,000 during that month. So, but I work like more than 12 hours, and I have no day off during the time.
So what scared you the most?
Well, what scared me the most is like losing my job, because I'm providing for my family in the Philippines, and I wanted, them being influential, and if I go back, I have to pay amount that I owed her, that she said.
How
That's
much
it.
did she say you owed her? Yes.
Oh yeah. When we got here, the three of us, we didn't expect that we owe her $11,000
For what?
for bringing us here. So we don't know that. Thank you. Does that answer your question?
Very much so, thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry, but you went through.
Do other workers want to explain the treatment
Their abuse.
that you received?
Or explain how you survived in Los Angeles on $1,000 a month, and send money back in.
You could all come up, but I think they want to explain. They want to hear what the mistreatment was, and so how you felt about that. I know they called you different bad names at times, and
When we looked into it, it came out to less than $3 an hour.
okay. We'll hear from one or two, and then we'll do individual interviews. It might be a little
No
less.
pressure. It's just we just want to hear their story. That's all. Thank you.
So when we got here, when I got here, we worked. I think I worked from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. To the breaks of 1 to 2 p.m. From 1 to 2 p.m. and then they only gave us $1,000 a month for 6 months. No days off for first 5 weeks. So, but that's what they did to us. And then all of a sudden they start talking to us, each of us, and then they said that we owed $11,000 for being us here, which is surprised us. I mean, how can you get those amounts to pay them? And then they said you have to work for you have to work at least 3 years to us, so we can take out those debt. So for us, they starting to trap us. They starting to hold our neck to continue working for them. And what if we don't? That's what we asked them. What if we don't finish those 3 years? They told us, okay, we will deport you. We will bring you to the airport, send you home, and then get those $11,000. We don't have that much money. It's easy. We will take every cent that you have in the Philippines. We will sue you, and then in the Philippines, whoever has money, whoever is rich, those who got justice. So we're all afraid. We all don't have any choice but to continue working for them, even though we're all tired, we're all sick. So that's what happened to us. Until the labor Department of Labor Commissioner comes to us, investigate us, and then the Department of Investigator told us that we will be an witness against our employer. Just tell the truth, which our employer found out, and then our employer started to manipulate us. I mean, control us. Don't tell the truth. Tell whatever she wants us to say. So that's what the conflict started between us and our employer.
You never agreed to the $11,000. You never heard about $11,000 until he brought it up when you were already here?
Yes. I'm working at least 7 months here when they told us that we owed $11,000. That's what happened. So,
You're very brave. Thank you for your story.
thank you.
Sorry
The last word we're going to hear from is Gina Pablo, who actually worked as a full-time domestic worker while working at the bakery for the Almeidas.
Good morning, everybody. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit nervous. I hope I'm not gonna cry. I came to America 2009, and I worked with Anna. In the Philippines, she approached me to come to America to still work as a nanny for her youngest son. So when I came here to America, it's not a nanny, it's a domestic helper. And when she opened the bakery, she approached me to, she never trained me to work in the bakery. So she approached me to help Ernita in the kitchen. Since when she opened the bakery, because I live in her house, so I wake up 3:30 a.m. I need to put the laundry and the washing machine while I'm taking a shower, and after that, I need to go out to grill all kind of vegetables and then bring it to the store. At around 4, I need to be in the store. So 4 a.m. until 8:30 or 9 p.m., no break. And one time, me and Ermita, because there's no customer, so me and Ermita, we decided to eat. But since 5 a.m., we don't have break. I remember the time me and Ermita go to break at around 3:30 p.m. Because there's no customer, that's the only time we can have break. So and here we go, Anna come. And I don't know why she gets mad. She's angry. She's like, the way she acts, she's like, we kill somebody, but because of the break. So she said, she's yelling, scolding us, me and Ermita, and said, you're not allowed to eat. So I said, but Mom Anna, there is no customer. And she said, I don't care if the customer is a fly or a mosquito. If you cannot follow my rules, the door is open, you can leave. But I don't know, because whatever she said, we follow. Whatever, because we just want to please her. But still, whatever we do for her, she don't know how to appreciate the way all of us. So that's my experience here in America. Yeah, and when she buy her building in Long Beach, here in America, I learned how to paint. I learned how to garden, to the woodworker. Yeah. So that's my experience here in America.
Did you feel like a slave? Would you call yourself at that time? By that treatment?
At that time, because I'm scared, because I had nobody here in America. And she always telling me, you cannot talk to the neighbors, you cannot talk to the police. So of course, because I don't know what the law here in America. And until I had no idea, so whatever she said, I just followed. And when the advancing come and help us, that's the only time I like, oh yeah, I'm a slave. Because for her, you cannot complain. Whatever she said, you have to follow because she always telling us she's the boss. So one time, like, I talked to her and said, Mom Anna, whatever you said, I just follow. Whatever do you want me to do, I follow. Just to please you. And I just asked one question for her. I said, can you please treat and just cry because just the only time I can release the hurt. Or at night, I just turn on the shower and just cry while the shower is on. But now, because of the help of everybody, I'm not gonna name it because there's a lot, but especially to advancing justice. Thank you so much to our lawyers that they never stop like helping us. Thank you so much. Now we're happy and we're good now here in America, so we're not gonna suffer the way we suffer with the Almeida's family. Thank you so much.
Just take individual interviews now? Would that be okay?
Just a quick question. So the $15 million judgment, does that go to the 11 workers, or how does that?
Do you want to explain this?
So the $15.2 million judgment that's cumulative, so about over $12 million goes to the workers, and the remaining is an attorney's fees and costs.
So it's about $1 million per worker, right? So that's a pretty drastic difference between where they were and where they are now, right?
Yeah, that's why it's a great project to me.
Can someone give us the address to the bakery, please?
The address to the bakery. As far as we know, the bakeries have closed.
Where were they?
One was in Torrance and the other is in Beverly Hills. So right now we are in the process of exploring every avenue possible to collect on the judgment so that the workers can get the $12 million.
Good work, thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
So we can have individual.
One question. The family reunification aspect of this whole thing, is that part of the T visa arrangement?
Yes, the T visas allow the workers to bring in their families to rejoin them, at least temporarily, because the T visa will last for 3 years normally, and then it could be renewed.
And at their expense?
Thank you. And then feel free to ask any of the workers or Congressman Liu for any further updates for our attorneys. Thank you.
Miss, can I lift this tape just up, please? Thank you.